Glories to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta Madhya Lila, Chapter 16, Text 124. Rajara Anjanya Padicha Pataya Dine Dine Bahuta Prashada Pataya Diya Bahujane. Following the king's orders, the superintendent of the temple sent large quantities of prasadam every day, and it was carried by many persons. 125. Svaghana Sahite Prabhu Prasada Angikari Mutiya Chalila Prabhu Bali Hari Hari. After accepting the prasadam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood up and started to go, chanting the holy names Hari, Hari. 126. Ramananda Roy, Maharaja, and Sri Harichandana always went with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and rendered various services. 127 through 29. Through 129. Prabhu Sange Puri Goshani Swarupa Damodara Jagadananda Mukunda Govinda Kashishvara Haridasa Thakura Ara Pandita Bhaktisvara Gopinatha Charya Ara Pandita Damodara Ramainandai Ara Bahu Ramainandai Ara Bahu Bhakta Gana Radhana Kalun Sabara Kekare Ganana. Paramananda Puri Goswami Swarup Damodar Jagadananda Mukunda Govinda Kashishvara Haridas Thakur Bhaktisvara Pandit Gopinathacharya Damodar Pandit Ramai and Nandai and many other devotees accompanied the Lord. I have mentioned only the chief devotees. No one can describe the total number. 130. Gadhadhara Pandite Yabe Sangete Chalila Chitra Sanya Sadhacha Viha Prabhu Nishetila. When Gadadhar Pandit started to go with the Lord, he was forbidden to come and was asked not to give up the vow of Kshetra Sannyas. Purport. When one takes Kshetra Sannyas, he leaves his household life and goes to a place of pilgrimage devoted to the Lord Vishnu. Such places include Purushottama, Jagannath Puri, Navadvipdham, and Mathuradham. The Kshetra Sannyasi lives in these places alone or with his family. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur considered Kshetra Sannyas to be the preferable Vanaprastha situation in this age of Kali. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya lived in this way, and he has been called a Kshetra Sannyasi, that is, a sannyasi living in Jagannath Puri. (131) Pandite kahe yahan tumi sei nilachala kshetra sannyasa mora yaukarasa tala. When he was requested to return to Jagannath Puri, Gadadhar Pandit told the Lord, "Wherever you are staying is Jagannath Puri. Let my so-called Kshetra Sannyas go to hell." 132. Prabhu kahe inhakara gopinata sevana pandite kahe koti seva swadpada darshana. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Gadadhar Pandit to remain at Jagannath Puri and engage in Gopinath service, Gadadhar Pandit replied, One renders service to Gopinath 1,000,000 times simply by seeing your lotus feet. (133) Prabhu kahe sevacharibe amaya lage dosha inharahi sevakara amara santosha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, if you abandon his service, it will be my fault. It is better that you remain here and render service. That will be my satisfaction. 134. Pandite kahe saba dosha amaru para tomasange na yaiba ekesvara. The Pandit replied, do not worry, all the faults will be on my head. I shall not accompany you, but shall go alone. 135. Aike deki te yaiba na yaiba toma lagi pratigya seva tyaga dosha tarami bhagi. I shall go to see Sachimata, but I shall not go for your sake. I shall be responsible for abandoning of my vow and service to Gopinath. 136. Etabali Pandit Goshani Prutaksha Lila Katakasi Prabhu Tandre Sange Anhaila. Thus Gadadhar Pandit Goswami traveled alone, but when they all arrived at Kataka, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him, and he went into the Lord's company. 137. Panditera Gauranga Prema Bhujanha Nayaya Pratigya Sri Krishna Seva Jadila Trinapraya. No one can understand the loving intimacy between Gadadhar Pandit and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadadhar Pandit gave up his vow and service to Gopinath just as one gives up a piece of straw. Just to get Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association, Gadadhar Pandit gave up his life's vow to engage in Gopinath's service. This kind of loving affection can be understood only by very confidential devotees. Ordinarily, no one can understand its purport. 138. Tanhara Charitre Prabhu Antare Santosha Tanhara Hati Dhari Kahe Kari Pranya Rosa. Gadadhar Pandit's behavior was very pleasing to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord took his hand and spoke to him, displaying the anger of love. 139. Pratigya seva chadibe etomhara udesha se siddha haila chari haila dhura desha. You have abandoned Gopinath's service and broken your vow to live in Puri. All that is now complete because you have come so far. 140. Amara sange rahite chaha vancha nija shuka tumhara duvi dharma yaya amara hayaduka. Your wanting to go with me is simply a desire for sense gratification. In this way, you are breaking two religious principles, and because of this I am very unhappy. 141. Morasuka chahayadi nila chale chala amara sapata yadi araki chubala. If you want my happiness, please return to Nilachala. You will simply condemn me if you say any more about this matter. 142. Etabali Mahaprabhu no kate chadila Murichita na pandit tati padila. Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got into a boat, and Gadadhar Pandit immediately fell down unconscious. 143. Anditela na yate sorva bhumegya dila Bhattacharya kahe uta arche prabhura lila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to take Gadadhar Pandit with him. The Bhattacharya told Gadadhar Pandit, "Get up. Such are the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." 144. Tumi jana Krishna nija pratija chadila Bhakta kripa vase vismera pratija rakila. You should know that Lord Krishna himself violated his own promise just to keep the promise of grandfather Bhisma. 145. Svanigamam apayamat pratijanam Ratam hari kartam avapluto ratastaha Trita rata charano Vyayach chalad gur Hadir iva hantum ivam gato tariyaha. Intending to make my promise true, Lord Krishna broke his own promise not to take up a weapon at Kurukshetra. With his outer garment falling off, Lord Sri Krishna jumped from his chariot, picked up a wheel, and came running at me to kill me. Indeed, he rushed at me like a lion going to kill an elephant, and he caused the whole earth to tremble. Purport. Lord Krishna promised not to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra or even take up a weapon. But when Bhisma wanted to keep his own promise, to break the promise of the Lord immediately got down from the chariot, and to make Bhisma's promise true, he picked up a chariot wheel and rushed forward to kill him. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.37. 146. Ei mata prabhuto mara vicheda sahiya Tomara pratigya raksha kailayatna kariya. Similarly, tolerating separation from you, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has protected your vow with great endeavor. (147) Ei mata kahitanre prabhora karila Vijane sokakula nilachale aila. In this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya revived Gadadhar Pandit. Then both of them, very much grief-stricken, returned to Jagannath Puri, Nilachala. 148. Prabhulagi dharma karma chade bhakta gana Bhakta dharma hani prabhura nahaya sahana. All the devotees would abandon all kinds of duties for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sake, yet the Lord did not like the devotees giving up their promised duties. 149. Premera vivarta iha sunye ye jana Achire mili tandre Chaitanya Charana. All these are the misgivings of loving affairs. Whoever listens to these incidences gets the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet very soon. Duhi Raja Patraye Prabhu Sangeyaya Yajapura Asi Prabhu Tare Dilena Vidaya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his party arrived at Yajapura, the Lord asked the two government officers who had come with him to return. Purport. The place called Yajapura is very well known in Orissa. It is a subdivision of the Kataka district and is situated on the southern side of the Vaitarani River. Formerly, great sages performed sacrifices on the northern bank of the Vaitarani River. Consequently, the place is known as Yajapura. Yagyapura, the place where sacrifices are performed. Some people say that this was one of the capital cities of King Yayati, and that from the name Yayati Nagara, the name Yagyapura has come. As stated in the Mahabharata, Vana Parva, chapter 114, Ete Kalinga Kotaye Yatra Vetrani Nari Yatra Yajata Dharmopi Devansarnam Ityavai Atravai Vrashanayi Chapura Kratubihir Ijire. According to the Mahabharata, great sages formerly performed sacrifices in this place. There are still many temples of demigods and incarnations there, and also there is a deity of Sri Varahadeva. This deity is especially important and is visited by many pilgrims. Those who worship the Supreme Lord's energy worship Varahi, Vaishnavi, and Indrani, as well as many similar forms of Devi, the internal energy. There are many deities of Lord Shiva. There are many places along the river, known as Dasas Ramedhaga. Sometimes Yagyapur is called Nabihi Gaya or Viraja Kshetra. (151) Prabhu Vedaya Dila Raya Yaya Tamrasane Krishna Kata Ramananda Sane Ratri Dine. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bade farewell to the officers, and Ramananda Roy continued on with the Lord. The Lord talked to Ramananda Roy about Sri Krishna day and night. 152. Pratigrame Raja Agya Raja Britya Gana Raja Gurdhe Nana Dravye Karaye Sevana. In each and every village, in compliance with the king's order, government officers constructed new houses and filled each of them with stocks of grain. Thus they served the Lord. 153. E Mata Chali Prabhu Remuna Aila Tataharte Ramananda Raye Vidaya Dila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally arrived at Ramuna, where he bade farewell to Sri Ramananda Roy. Purport. It was stated in the first chapter of Madhya Lila, verse 149, that Ramananda Roy was bade farewell from Bhadraka. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that in those days the place called Ramuna also included Bhadraka. (154) Bhumete Padi Varoya Nahika Chetana Raye Kole Kadi Prabhu Karaye Krandana. When Ramananda Roy fell to the ground and lost consciousness, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took him upon his lap and began to cry. 155. Rayera Vidhaya Bhava Nayaya Sahana Kahite Napari Ehi Tahara Varnana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feelings of separation from Ramananda Roy are very difficult to describe. Indeed, it is almost intolerable to do so, and therefore I cannot describe them further. 156. Tabe Odra Desha Sima Prabhu Chali Aila Tataraja Adhikari Prabhu Re Milila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally arrived at the border of the state of Orissa, a government officer came there to meet him. 157. Tiladui Charitenho Karila Sevana Ake Chali Bhare Sei Kahe Vivarana. For 2 or 4 days, the government officer served the Lord. He also gave the Lord detailed information of what was ahead. 158. Madhya Yavanarajara Age Adhikara Tandrabhye Pate Keha Nare Chalivara. He informed the Lord that the territory ahead was ruled by a Muslim governor who was a drunkard. Out of fear of this king, no one could walk the road freely. 159. Pichalada Paryanta Saba Tandra Adhikara Tandra Bhaye Nadi Keha Haite Nare Para. The jurisdiction of the Muslim government extended up to Pichalada. Due to fear of the Muslims, no one would cross the river. During the old days, Pichalada was part of the Tamluk in Bengal. Pichalada is located about 14 miles south of Tamluk. The river Rupanarayana is well known as Tamluk, and Pichalada was situated on the bank of the Rupanarayana river. Yeah. Thus ends our reading for today. All glories to Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.